Hey Doc, happy 5 Minute Friday. Dr. Holly here, your Chiro Profit First coach, coming to you this week with a question. Just want you to ponder on it for a minute. Would you hire you? Okay, so talking to all you business owners out there, all you CEOs, your entrepreneurs, your solopreneurs, etc. Would you hire you? And I think that the first inclination or follow-up question that comes after that is, could you hire you? Okay. Could you even write a job description that could quantify everything that you do for your business? Okay. And then on the flip side of that, if you had to hire out every single little thing that you do for your business, could you do it? Could you afford it? Could the services that you provide and the revenue that you generate actually support hiring every single role that you perform in your business? Good questions. Nothing we absolutely have to answer today. As you guys know, I just kind of am in a poking the bear sort of mood today. I've had some interesting conversations with clients in the last couple of weeks about their tendencies on when things get rough, when they get down on themselves, when things are looking a little different. For some of my clients, summertime is like the busiest season of the year. For other clients, it's slower. For some other clients, we've looked at the numbers and the patient numbers are the same, but for some reason the revenue is down. Okay. So lots of different things could be happening right now. We're going into a season of change, especially if you have family or small children. Going into the back to school season, we're wrapping up the end of the summer. There's just a lot that's going around. But I've had this conversation a couple times where it seems to be the tendency of when things get tight or get tough, that business owners want to self-sacrifice. Okay. And so I'm really trying to push my clients to not do this. Okay. Rather than, I believe they're self-sacrificing for the fact that instead of making some big decisions, putting on their CEO hat, making some big decisions on things that are going on in their business and maybe making some cuts so that the profit margin stays the same, etc., they're making more decisions on sacrificing themselves, so not paying themselves. So this is what I'm proposing to you this week. I don't know how to pay myself. I'm not talking about me, okay? I almost never hear this exact quote come from clients, but I hear this, I see this manifest in different ways when you're leaning on the business a little bit too much, or when you are going into a season where you're like, well, it's okay if I self-sacrifice. It's okay. I'm making an investment right now. I'm still working on myself. I'm trying to, validate this business model. I'm trying to prove it to myself, etc. I'm okay with not taking a paycheck. Okay. That's fine. But when do we put an expiration date on that? Okay. That is definitely our natural tendency when we're going into startup, when we're starting a new business, when we're launching a new offering, etc. But at some point, you have to be able to break that cycle. Okay. You have to know how to pay yourself. I see this happen in many, many different ways. You either just don't know the ratio of money that's being set aside just for you and for the benefit of you owning the business. Sometimes it's just, maybe just shy away from the numbers, or maybe you have an inclination of what you think the numbers are and you think things are, fine or good or gravy, whatever. But then we actually sit down and look at them and it's like, there's a lot of improvement that we could possibly make here if we make a couple of strategic changes. Okay. So, I want you to think about this. Would you hire yourself? Okay. Could you hire you? Okay. What does that mean? All of the little things that we're adding up together, all the, the bottom line of what that impact is, and is it worth it? Sometimes we get to that end of the question too. Talking to docs more on the exit strategy end. You're in a completely different mindset than someone that's coming in brand new. So maybe you are looking to grow your team, looking to hire, maybe you've been in practice for 15, 20 years. You are very solid in your offering and where your business stands right now, and you're seeing a lot of issues with trying to recruit. This is probably like the number 2 question that I get. Where do we find people to hire, and how do we hire, and how do we retain clients, or not clients, employees, when the market is the way that it is right now? Okay. So we really have to get serious about where your numbers are, how the business serves you, before you can even entertain bringing on somebody else. Because yes, somebody else can help to impact the bottom line by first impacting the top line, right? They're hopefully going to be, hitting the ground running and generating more revenue for you. But you have to think about now that big chunk of the pie of your expenses. Is your mindset thinking that, that person's just coming in and they're joining the team, and as long as they quote pay for themselves, they're fine? Are they coming in and they're taking essentially, they're taking the burden off of the expenses for you? Okay. Or are they coming in to generate more revenue and you're fine with covering the expenses, but then bringing them in, you're hoping you can actually get to paying yourself? Okay. None of those scenarios to me sound like we're very well informed. Okay. It is very much that we're just sort of hoping that things shake out on the other side and that the universe will provide. And I do believe that to some extent, but I also like to be very well informed. So if you need somebody to help to dive in, look at the numbers with you, parse things out, and run some calculations, run some projections, then please, please, please reach out to me. Have a good weekend.